went to this film ready to be Stuckmanized. While the film didn't totally blow me away, I was very, very, very impressed by how strong of a debut this is. Hi, I'm Zach. I talk about movies with you every week, and today I'm going to be breaking down my thoughts on what works and doesn't work in Chris Stuckmann's first feature film, Shelby Oaks. First off, what really works and is a highlight of the film is Chris Stuckmann's direction. The story follows Mia, a young woman that's trying to find her little sister who disappeared in 2008. Her sister was part of a paranormal YouTube channel that went to haunted places and tried to find ghosts, and the emotional aspect of this and the way he captured everything, you can tell personal. Stuckmann has been on record saying he used to be in the Jehovah's Witness faith, and his sister was casted out and he didn't see her for years and he was searching for her. So you can see he brought that desperation, that trying to understand what is going on and where the person could be, and that obsession into this film. Another thing I think he did really well is bringing his knowledge of YouTube into the movie, because Riley was on YouTube, the old school YouTube, and the movie plays out for like the first half in like found footage, these paranormal escapades that Riley went on with her friends. The found footage segments are easily some of the strongest parts of the film. Very eerie, creepy, because it's found footage and the way it works, it feels like you're in the room with these people as the eerie and creepy bad things start to happen. As Mia starts studying these tapes, start seeing things in the background of the movie that you didn't notice the first time when they showed it. These create natural earned scares, and I gotta say, for me and the audience, there's a couple jump scares in this movie that was part of the emotional weight of certain scenes that made us gasp, caught us off guard, did not expect it, and it really affected. Stuckmann shows that he has a real command on tension, scares, and pacing. The atmosphere is full of dread and it's a constant. It makes you never really feel like you can relax, because it feels like there's always something going on in the background that's following these characters around. Surprisingly, most of the movie is a little deeper than I expected it to be. I think that he did a great job of showing someone who's so obsessed with something and how that obsession can lead to you becoming a ghost in your own life and trying to figure out how to get that closure that you desperately need. And that really ties into the second thing that I really felt made Stuckmann's direction really strong, is the way he directs his actors, especially Camille Sullivan, who plays Mia. He does a great job of bringing a lot of that emotional heft out of her, and she answers by giving one of the best performances in the horror film this year. She does a great job being very expressive and very animated, where you actually get emotionally invested in everything she does. She's grounded, she's nuanced, she carries the emotional weight of the film on her back and blows it out of the park. Sarah Dern, who plays Riley, brings this haunted, distant energy that lingers even when she's not on screen. Through glimpses in the footage, you're constantly piecing together what might have happened to her, which keeps the mystery strong. And the big thing about this film is that obviously Chris Stuckmann started as a YouTuber in 2009, now making his first film in 2025. He's been years and years of critiquing movies, and he used that following that he got and made $1 million on Kickstarter to make this movie. Neon was so impressed they added another $1 million. So while the budget is not that high, and you can tell within the filmmaking itself it had some constraints, I think he did a really great job of utilizing every resource that he had on set. That extra $1 million from Neon was to put gore and more VFX in the film, and while it's used sparingly, it's used very effectively. Tone, the texture, the mood is consistent and confident. The one thing I think that Stuckmann needs to work on as a filmmaker to really elevate his game, and is one of the main issues that I have with the film, is the film's writing. And it's not because the film writing is bad, it's kind of just basic. Scenes don't always connect emotionally from beat to beat. There's certain sequences in the movie that you feel like there should be some catharsis or reflection that we don't get. Specifically, there's a scene that's teased in the trailer where she's in a jail and doing some snooping, and there's like something that happens that should have been more of a breaking point, that it doesn't happen at the end of the scene. We kind of just move on as business as usual, and I thought that was really weird. It broke my immersion a little bit when I was watching the movie. And even that central theme that I picked up in the film, I felt like they could have did a better job, or he could have done a better job of nailing it down, showing how this obsession with finding her sister kind of messed up her life throughout. It's hinted, because she was trying to have a baby, but she's been so obsessed with trying to find Riley, she hasn't made the time. But there was other things that they could have done to really get you emotionally invested, that how obsessed she was trying to find her sister. Because of that, Shelby Oaks doesn't fully hit the emotional impact that it could have. The movie is really well paced. By the time I got to the end of it, I was surprised that it was over already. So it's a positive in terms of a theatrical experience where you don't want to be in the theater for too long and you don't want things to feel like it's dragged out. But the negative here is that I feel like we missed on some of the reflection and catharsis that you normally would get at the end of a scene for the character to really think about what's going on, or at least you can see it in their eyes so that you can feel what's going through their head. Sometimes you don't really know what character is feeling moment to moment. And honestly, just still, you know, for most first-time directors, their directing is ahead of their writing, and he can definitely grow in that aspect, and I believe he will with some more reps and maybe a higher budget in his second film. But maybe even he should get a co-writer. I think that would help as well. Get somebody to work with him to expand his ideas and make them stronger, and continue to grow as a director as well, because he has a strong base here and a voice that I think that can make him level up to one of the better horror directors that we have. I'm thinking someone like Mike Flanagan or a James Wan, guys like that make really fun horror movies that have deeper meanings to them that you can reflect on and rewatch the films and catch new things. If I were to place this movie alongside recent horror films, I think it's somewhere in between Boogeyman and Talk to Me. So I think it's better than Boogeyman in terms of its filmmaking and scares, a notch below Talk to Me in terms of its emotional resonance. It's a theatrical horror film that has atmosphere over shock value and mystery over gore. I think it does do a good job of keeping this feel like a theatrical, not a streaming movie, because my audience was fully engaged and making noises at certain parts. He does a really good job of building up that dread and really nailing the scary moments that you need to nail in movies like this. And without spoiling anything, I think that the ending of the film is going to divide people. I think some people are going to like that it feels like it's a subtle tie to everything that was going on in the film. Some people are going to feel like they need it more. I'm somewhere in the middle where I enjoyed the ending, I appreciate it, but I just needed another emotional hoof to happen for it to really leave that lasting impact. Overall, I was really impressed with Shelby Oaks. It's a strong, confident debut with great mood, great scare construction, and standout performances, even if the writing needs refinement to really elevate it. It's a good movie from a filmmaker that's starting out that I think can make a great movie one day. So with that said, I'm going to give Shelby Oaks a very strong C+. Question of the day is, who's a YouTuber, whether the movie reviewer or someone that skits, that you think can take the leap to Hollywood and make a full-fledged feature film next? Drop your takes down below and let me know, and you can watch more content right now.